Guys. Today I want to talk to you about importing and exporting photos in Lightroom, as well as organizing in Lightroom and outside of Lightroom. If you already have this system set up for you, maybe you'll learn something new here, or you can share your process with me. There are numerous ways to go about organizing and saving photos in your editing software and on your hard drive or your computer. And there's no right way, you just find the method that works for you. So for the sake of, we can import here, or we can import here, and for the sake of just simplicity, I'm going to run through this process with you guys so you understand if you're not super familiar with Lightroom or have it organizing upon importing. You can see here for importing options, I have devices plugged into my computer, my memory card. This is my computer hard drive. It's also reading the external hard drive and my memory card again. So it'll show you here all the photos that are not already in Lightroom as being checked and with this white box around it. But then you'll see this faded out option I cannot select because that's already saved in my Lightroom. And these are photos I've actually already edited and taken off, so they're showing up again. But I know I've already done them, but for the sake of this, let me show you how I would do this. I'm going to select uncheck all because I don't want to import all of them. And I'm going to select these three, and I selected the first one, held shift down, and then selected the last one, so it saves everything right there. You hit this block and it checks them for you. And so then these are the options for importing right now. These are the three photos. Over here you can work through file handling if you want to build previews in a specific way, which is just your thumbnail here. I keep mine minimal just because I don't need, I can see exactly what this photo is. I don't need it to be anything fancy. I don't want any extra space taken up just because I have a lot of photos and I prefer the space that I have being allotted to my actual photos that are saved and backed up. But if you do want that, you can build smart previews. If you have plenty of extra space, you go for it. I don't import suspected duplicates, but I also, if I'm importing new photos, I will do a quick scan and make sure that they're all being imported. You can make a second copy and download this as your backup if you don't do that on your own. But if you read in my post, I go from my memory card and I copy all those photos over myself. So I know that all of the photos from my memory card are being copied over to a folder on my external hard drive. But if you don't do that, here's a way in Lightroom to just ensure that happens. And you can select a folder that's not, like this shows here that it's on my Mac, my user profile, and just in the pictures folder for Lightroom, and then backups. That would take up an extraordinary amount of space on your computer as well, because you only have so many gigs or terabytes of a hard drive on your computer, which it is a lot, but over the years that it adds up. I can further add these to a collection, and you can see here that it will copy these photos not just in the catalog that they're going to be saved in, the folders down here, but also in this collection. So for if I want an editing tutorial or to quickly access them without having to go to any specific folder down here, they'll save here. So we can save these here to the editing tutorial. I don't do a ton of these, but these are a nice option just for additional organization options. Renaming files here, I rename all of my files with the date and the file name, but you can adjust that to be anything you want. File name options, numbering if you want to have a sequence number for your photos, additional date, and custom text. Apply during import. This is my Do Me First preset that I've already set up within Lightroom. And so every photo that I import will have these settings put on it, automatically applied. And then same for the metadata. I have my copyright information already being copied to the photos as they're copied into Lightroom. And then keywords for ease of access. If I forget where I saved them and I need to find them, I need to search them, just like I had shown before with looking for a purple rose flower. I didn't remember when I had saved it or where I had saved it, what month it was, and so this is just an easy way to be able to search on your hard drive or your computer if you can remember any details about the photos. And this would be an easy way for me to, if I forget this later on, to know with any of these keywords I can search and find them. The destination here is where the actual copy of the photo is saved. Not a copy, the actual photo is saved. This is a copy that's put in a collection, so you can't delete from here when you're in Lightroom, but you can from here. So you can see that I have year 20, so here's my, my external hard drive. Then I have a folder for the year 2020, and then I have months, a folder for every month, and then I have a JPEG and a RAW. I save it just to May because this is a reminder. It shows up in the May folder without being saved in one of these to ensure I edit them, and I'll show you what that looks like here shortly. So I will go ahead and import these 3 photos. So we have the left panel here. You'll see the catalog shows them as the previous import. They'll also, here's a quick collection option, all your photos, synced photos from, if you use another software that connects to Lightroom, you'll have this as an option as well. Then I get mostly organized here in my folders. This works for me for just a really fluid and simple process of backing up photos, saving photos, and accessing them. I can usually find my photos pretty quick with just this, but if you want to have a slightly better system and organize it from the beginning with where your photos are saved as they're in. So your Lightroom has, like we just imported these photos, but it's going to save the actual copy in a catalog somewhere in the back of your computer. And so I have this all photographs catalog saved, a Lightroom catalog saved on my external hard drive. If I was to ever lose my photos, that's where they're backed up to. But then I also have them saved. I'm saving a copy to the folder here, and then I told you here the year, and they're saved in the month of May when I imported them. And then I also have, for quick access, I have them saved here in this editing tutorial, along with a few others. So very simple process here. And then you'll also see everything that you selected already. My keywords are already set up. You can see the file name's already applied. There's more keyword options if I want to add more. A list if I need to access that. More metadata and anything else that I want to put on there. So let's say I've already edited these. Now I can either right click or select export here. And now you're going to see that the volume that's selected is the hard drive, my external hard drive name, the year, the month of May, and RAW, because these are the RAW files. And you can go here and select, these are all the RAW images that I have backed up. And I would choose that. You can't, with RAW files, you can't do anything else. So you'll see the file setting the image format is original. That means the original file. In my case, it's a RAW file. If yours is not a RAW, it would save your JPEG or whatever format type you have. And then that's really it. You can't adjust to anything else because of the RAW. But if you save this as JPEG, you can resize it, which I don't do. I save the high resolution photo, what it already is here. I'll sharpen it for screen. I save all metadata, and then I would export it to the JPEG folder. But these are still RAW, so I'm going to make sure they're as original. I would export them, and then, oh look, I already have them saved. So this is just your notice that, oh hey, these are saved. Now if I happen to have, if I took these pictures today and I erased them off my memory card, and then for any reason the file names and dates were the same as other images that I have, which honestly wouldn't happen, but if it did, you could use unique names, or if say I wanted to save a second copy, or if it was edited, or just any other variation that you have, you could use a unique name to save a second copy. I'm going to go ahead and skip it this time, and then show you here on my computer options, I can go to my device, the devices here, my external hard drive is plugged in, go to the year 2020, go to May, and then I told you that when I was importing it here in the right panel, it showed you, I saved it just in the month of May. I did not further save it into a JPEG or RAW folder. Now, I know this is probably not the best system for most people. You would probably want to save this in a catalog folder, so it's already backed up and saved, but this is a reminder to me every time I go to look at my May photos that, hey, you have these photos to edit and you need to edit them and save them. So this is just a way that I remind myself that these are unedited photos to address. If I'm ever not looking at Lightroom, or if I'm, I haven't had time to get to them, this is just how I keep track of what needs to be done. But if I'm like, hey, I know I've already edited some photos in May, I can go to my JPEG folder, and here's all the month of May photos that I've already edited, and then those edited photos are backed up here in this folder. So the 3 photos here that I just imported, you see the roses, you can see they're all right here. This is the disk it's saved to. And you'll see that if I'm done editing these, I don't need to keep them in Lightroom anymore. What I would do, well, I'm in a collection, so I can't delete them from here, but I'm going to go over to May, and you can see that here they are, still selected. I'm going to remove these photos. Now, deleting from disk means that they're being deleted from this section right here, because this is where I'm saving them to as the disk. This could be a folder for you. It could be in a specific catalog that you're saving it, on your computer, a thumbnail, the cloud, if you will, wherever that looks like for you. So when I delete from disk, it's going to take them away from here, and then that's my note, my reminder then that I don't have to edit those anymore. The file's going to be saved here in JPEG and then in RAW. So I already have them backed up twice over here. I don't need this one as well. This is just the method. So I could delete from disk or remove them if I wanted to keep them there, if I had this as my backup folder, but I don't. So I'm going to delete from disk. This is just the system that works for me. There are a lot of ways to organize your photos, a lot of ways to back up and keep your photos, organized and accessible. But whatever that looks like for you, have a simple system that is functional and quick to access and easy to do, so that then you can go right on to move to the next thing and you're set, and you don't have to worry about where photos went, where they were saved, how do I find them later, or anything like that. I do want to show you really quick though that the way that I then take these photos to my phone or to save them anywhere else, another export option is I have Dropbox saved to my computer. It's basically like an app, which I also have saved on my phone. So if I want to save photos, if I want to take this photo and then get it on my phone to share it on Instagram or on Facebook or send it to somebody or whatever else, this is how I do that. So I save it to Dropbox, and that Dropbox, I choose here, I export it to Dropbox, and then it saves right to my phone. So also another very simple way, instead of emailing it to yourself or however else I've heard a lot of people go about doing that, very easy process. And that just saves a copy to Dropbox. I also, when I do that, because you don't need a full-size image saved to Dropbox, I will also resize it to be, the width to be 851, so that's the longest side. So it's like an online resolution, a web res for using it anywhere else, because the bigger files can be, the full-size files can be pretty large, and sometimes they don't come across as well on social media, or they take up too much space. So this is how I do that. Again, very simple, and now I can access it right on my phone. So I hope you guys found that helpful, and if you have any questions or other ideas or processes that work for you that make this more organized or streamlined, just please let me know.